All right, guys, welcome to What's Going On. This is Cesar Ramirez, and we'll get started here in a few. If you guys don't know anything about me, I actually used to be a blogger way back in the days. Before it became blogging, I was journaling online, and I've owned my domain since 2000, no, 1996 or so. And it's funny because there's another guy by the same name. I have a very common name, and I always blame my mom and say, "Hey, how come you didn't give me a middle name, mom?" And anyway, so she did not give me a middle name, and so a lot of people confuse me for a lot of different people. But there is actually a very famous cook, and there's an actor from the Philippines. His name is Cesar Ramirez as well. Or if you're Spanish, it's pronounced Cesar Ramirez. And so it just happens that it's a very popular name. So here's my quick story. I was a blogger, and I got into internet marketing, affiliate marketing, early years of my life, and I wrote a lot of stuff here. I've had my own products, so I'm just kind of giving you a feedback. I created my own trainings. I used to help a lot of people that were working from home how to be able to find here. Let me turn on my camera so you guys can see who I am, because I know I realize my camera is off, and I don't know if I can turn it on here. Might be having technical difficulties with my camera, but let's see. Yeah, so it's okay. I'll do without the camera. So this is actually my first presentation of 2024, and first presentation of me doing this for Akashx. So this we'll be talking about that company tonight. I do realize it could be probably because I have my OBS open that it's not allowing the camera. So let me try that again. Let's try that again. And there we go. All right. I didn't dress up for you guys, but I wanted you guys to see I'm a real person. So here we go. Okay. So let's get started. So once again, my name is Cesar Ramirez, and I wanted to just show you I'm a real person. I'm going to show you my Facebook. This is my family. I had 3 boys. We stopped. I had a vasectomy. Regretted it 2 years later. And then the 2 little bunkins that you see right here were little miracles that happened during COVID. So Emilio happened. So this is my oldest son, Caesar. That is Luke, and who used to be my youngest son, and then Adam. And then Emilio and little Monica came. Monica was just born December 15th. So a little background about myself. Obviously a family man, and being an internet marketer and a family man, I wanted more time with my family, right? So I really got into this thing called internet marketing, affiliate marketing. And somewhere along the line, some guy told me when I was like 16, I was too young to get involved. It was like Amway meeting, and I showed up to an Amway meeting, and they showed me the whole circle deal. This is not what this is, but I was like, they painted the picture of freedom, and I was like, they never taught me this in school. They never taught me of leverage. They never taught me about things called passive income, and so passive income became a very attractive thing for me. So I started to really delve into learning about the online marketing. How are people making from home, money from home? You always saw these ads out there, even on $500 would change a lot of people's lives. And that's what I wanted to learn. So I ended up in around 2009, really delving into internet marketing and learning how to build a list. Now, there's not going to be a lot of people on this webinar tonight, and I'll tell you why. And I just found this out because I learned this during internet marketing. So there's a little backstory to what's going on here. Aweber used to be a marketing list that I used to, and still do have a lot of my lists. So I'm going to log in so I can show you guys really quick what's going on here. And by the luck of the draw, it happened to be just today. I'm not able to email a bunch of lists to people because even though I have a total of 950 people on this dashboard, you can see all my lists here, from elite drop shippers. I'll go into that in a second here. To my wife is selling succulents on the business that we're doing for some e-commerce stuff. You can see I have different lists, but I can't send emails out to people because of this new policy that Gmail has released that they're stopping people from sending out emails. So somehow I was able to squeeze out this one of 146 people. So we'll see. Only 5 of them have opened it up. We'll see if they show up here a little bit later. But this webinar is being recorded, so you guys can catch this information later. If you missed any part of this presentation, you'll get into it. So I've also invited my old team. I have over 100 people on my list. So these were people that were active members in a drop shipping company that I built. A little background about this. This was a method for people to make money from home. And it got so attractive, it retired my wife as a teacher at the time. This is 2012, 2011. And then other men were like, hey, I want to do the same for my wife. So I want to copy and paste my way to freedom. And so we built this drop shipping business that allowed people to copy items out of Amazon over to eBay. And then we would change the titles up and modify it, make it better, what's called SEO, and be able to list items. And it worked very well for several years. Like we ran this company for like 5 years, pushed over 700 people through the system. And as you can see, when I ended it, I had 101 active members. And so I invited them to the meeting tonight here too. Again, I have not marketed anything to anybody in a good, I'd say, close to 10 years, 8 years now. So why haven't I gotten into marketing or what? Why did I stop? For number one, I got burned out of running my own show. And so tonight I'm going to show you something that I didn't have to do the tech work. I didn't have to do the marketing by myself. There's leverage here. And I didn't have to do all the presentations. As a matter of fact, this is my first presentation. So you guys are fortunate enough to be on here. You get to catch it. Congratulations. I may mess it up. I may not. I don't know. I'm just speaking from the heart. And I'm a real person and just letting you know why I am passionate about what we have here with this company. So let me go ahead and get started here. And I want to show you first the model of what we're talking about. So Robert Kiyosaki was a book that was given to me at a very early year of my entrepreneurship career. And what they taught, if you look at the right-hand side here, they talk about the cash flow quadrant. We have the employee mindset, the self-employed. Most people are on the left-hand side, he says. You know, I'm going to try to probably explain this better through, sometimes he has one that has a breakdown of percentages. And I'm not seeing that right now, but I want to show it to you. I think it's this one. Yeah, so this one's kind of crazy, but let's see if I can pull that up bigger because it's kind of small. Yeah, unfortunately, it's kind of a small one. But if I was to draw this out, it's probably better if I draw it out. I think it's important to understand this basic concept because, as you'll see in the presentation, there's very, very little people that can make it here to what's called the investment club, which is the 1% club. So we have the employee, we have the self-employed, and then we have a person that actually builds a business with employees or a corporation, and then you have the investment club. Over here, less you pay less than like 1 to 3% in taxes. I'm doing this with a mouse. I don't have a pencil, so I'm probably going to slaughter this, but it's okay. This is where you pay about 40% in taxes to Uncle Sam. Why? And what's the problem about staying on this side? Most people, as we have experience here in California, I'm sure around the world as well, inflation is kicking our butts. So now husband and wife have to go back to work just to survive, you know? And so what happens when the employee stops working, money stops coming in. What happens when the self-employed person stops working? You run your own business and you get sick. Money stops coming in. There's no leverage. So 100% of your efforts go to 100% of your income. And that's what I call scary. I've always learned about having a plan B. So no matter if I have a job or not, there's nothing wrong with the job that takes care of your bases, but try to get over here as fast as possible. This is where you have leverage. This is where you can pay 1 to 3% on what's left at the end of the year of the money. Talk to your CPA about this. I'm not your tax person, but I can tell you right now, companies know how to leverage you. Their dreams are being built, and then you're working for their dreams. Does that make sense? So my job tonight is to hopefully paint the picture to get you to the right-hand side of the quadrant so that you can pay less in taxes and keep more of your income. All right, so hopefully I can describe that clearly because that really kicked in for me. Like I didn't want to pay a lot in taxes. I don't want to pay a lot. I want to keep as much of my hard work income as I can. So let's pull the presentation in. So we're going to get started with a company called Akashx. Now, why did I even look at this in the first place? Well, it was 2019. I met 2 of the instructors that are now instructors here at Akashx, Luis and Brent. Brent lives out in Texas. When I met him, he was out in Florida. He had just moved to Florida, and now he's in Texas. And then we have Luis up in Canada. And we had this cool little like vibe that we're doing in this company. I won't mention any names of this company, but I noticed that people felt like they were lost. And so I decided, hey, I'm really vibing with these two guys. Let me pull them into a group. So I pulled them into a Telegram group, and I kind of created this little team where we were sharing ideas, and we kind of hit it off really well. And it's amazing for me to see them now teaching at this company. And some of you guys have met them. So what's the history here? What happened? I was working a job at the time, remotely from home, and I was trading. And I said, this is something that I can see myself learning. Why? Because it doesn't require me to go out and chase people. I can work this on the side if I wanted to, and then make an extra piece of income. You know, as I mentioned earlier, even $500 would save a lot of people from the crash of 08. It would have saved their houses. So I said, if I can figure this out, I can help my family out, then I can move forward. Well, what happened was the company I was working for stressed me out. The manager was terrible. If you guys ever worked for a really bad manager and are here for a better opportunity, well, you came to the right place, because that was me. Hey, you know, she was out to get me. She was out to get rid of me. I'm a person that doesn't like to see the little man get beat up. And so I was defending my team at this company I was working at. And we were like a security company. It's called Broadcom. But the whole team was out in India. And I don't know if you ever worked with a company. I have not. And I didn't know that the ego of this particular manager was so big that I could not connect with her. I'm sure you guys dealt with managers like that in the past before, which is what drove me to really want to do something outside of that, right? So they ended up paying me to leave. I kid you not. They ended up paying me to leave. $15,000 offer, and I took it. They say, here's $15,000. It sounds great, but here's where the catch is. Those $15,000, did you know that you paid more on that kind of money or bonus money at your job in taxes? Oh yeah, I was only left with $9,000, so it wasn't nothing to be proud about. I mean, still $9,000, I would have left. I would have taken it. Everybody got laid off in that team eventually, and that's a different story. But the point is, I took a break from trading because I had to get my finances right. You got to take care of your base. If you can't take care of your base, your finances, then that's where it becomes scary. So with that said, Akashx shows up for me September, which is now, and we'll go into the history of the company. And so Brent, my buddy Brent that I used to trade with, I said, hey, what have you been doing, man? I've been seeing you posting stuff. And he kind of dripped on me. He kind of shared with me his story, and he's telling me now he's teaching here. And I said, okay, I'll take a look. So I've kept silent. I haven't shared this with anybody in social media or anybody on my list. So this is the first kind of exposure of myself out there in the internet, of sharing this. Why? Because when I built my dropshipping business, there's two things that had to make sense for me. Number one, if the product itself, the training itself, if you can make money without having to refer somebody, then that's a good day. Because if you're not a person like likes to talk, you're kind of an introvert. You know, I love to chat, and some of you guys in the group here will share about the group. They know that I love to joke around, and I love that camaraderie, and I love that type of. And we have some of the most amazing connections I've ever met in any type of community with Akashx. And so when I came in here, I was like, wow, this is a different vibe. You know, these are people that actually are, you know, they're loving on each other, and it's just good energy. I mean, somebody put 777 in the chat if you guys know what I'm talking about. You know, that's exactly it. I mean, I'll just show it off real quick because I think it's important. But this is our team here. You know, this is our Akashx elite group here. We hang out here. We can chat. We got resources, and so we have results. People dropping results here. People are making money, and we talk about different types of currencies that we get into. So we have gold. We have indices, which we'll talk about here in a second. Actually, we'll talk about it right now. So let me pull up what I did today. I think this is important. Some of the education that I did not know how to do prior to starting with the Akashx. Can you believe it? I was trading with this other company and just copying signals, but no one was really teaching me how to fish. So this was last night, and I want to show you how this played out. I'm going to zoom out to the daily. So what we're looking at here right now is a pair called US 30. It's your top 30 stocks that are doing what they're doing here in America, the US. And so one of the instructors kind of wrote out what these are called, basically my checklist of items. There's a name for it, and it's slipping my mind, but confluences. There we go. And so I did this all by myself last night, which I'm pretty proud of. And so I have to share it because this speaks volumes. So what I was taught, and I'll share with you a little nugget here, is you have a daily high. And if you're confused what this looks like, I'm going to tell you right now, the reason we're using these colors, and I'll tell you what I learned from Steve Max, who's one of our trainers. Blue is for buys and grays are for sells. Why? Because we're taught that reds by default, reds and greens are actually bad for your trading habits of your mindset, because you're thinking red's bad, red stop, right? And so that's the first thing I learned in this training. I was like, that's actually really smart. Yeah, because I'm always scared of red. So I changed my colors. That's easy to do. You can actually create an account at tradingview.com. It's free. Anybody can do this. And if you want to just kind of learn on your own, I will tell you, the scariest part of trying to go on your own and not having a system or a community is you can get lost and you get sucked in by the scammers out there. And let me tell you, I've burned a lot of money going to the wrong companies. People telling you they're going to trade for you. I'm sure some of you, I think I was talking to Mark Bellies last night about this. You know, this was like during COVID. We were throwing money at these companies on Telegram, at least for me it was, and they're like, hey, send us, $500 and we'll do the trading for you. And then before you know it, they run with your money. And I've gotten burned so many times, which is why I'm so passionate about sharing this, because with this community and with this system, you can make money on your own. And so you don't need to go outside of this, if that makes sense. And so someone told me this week, and it really clicked. And I think you'll appreciate this. When it comes to trading, you really learn a lot about yourself, your own personality. And that's what I love about trading, is because it is perhaps one of the most simplest things to do, but it's also the most difficult things to do if you try to do it without guidance. And so let's go into my analysis here. I went into this last night. So if we look at the daily, which is where we're at right now, it is now tomorrow, which is Friday in the standard of this time frame. I'm in the Pacific time zone, so I have this set up for Pacific. It is 6:24 here now. This was yesterday. So I'm going to zoom into yesterday, which was considered Thursday by this standard, which today is still Thursday for us, but it's this big guy right here. You can see my daily low was at the bottom there for the previous day, because I marked this up on the previous day, which would have been Wednesday. And then my daily high is right there. You can see that these are called wicks. And this part right here is called the candle. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in now to the 4 hour and show you what I did. So again, we're going to follow the daily low. I'm zooming into these candles, and basically the more you zoom in, it's breaking up these candles into these hour blocks. So this is the 4 hour block, and you can see down here my daily low is pointing at that very bottom candle, and my daily high should be basically right there. So that was all yesterday's moves when I marked this up. And so this is what I wanted to do. And these right here, these are little blocks, these little pink things here. I made these zones called the 4 hour zones, because I'm naturally in the 4 hour time frame. And what I look for is to make sure this is consolidating, or there's a lot of price movement here. And consolidation means nothing more than, is this moving straight up? Yes. Okay, that's not consolidation. What is consolidation? It's when it's kind of chilling in the same little area, as you can see right here. So I made that kind of an area of zone that I was looking for. Here's another one right down here, and here's another one down here. Now, I learned this little nugget from another friend of mine. At the 15-minute, you can really see it. But when you're dealing with US 30, an order block is nothing more than 5 candlesticks going in the direction you want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're all blues. So none of them are going down. That's an order block area. So you have to kind of look for order blocks. I call them order blocks. That's the way I was taught. Okay, let's go back to the 4 hour. So what played out? I woke up this morning. I took a trade as soon as I went to my zone down here. I took a trade, a buy right here, and I made a positive win. Now, as we always say in trading, when it's in blue, it's up to you. So we don't tell you when to get out, where to get in, but that's essentially the area that I made the move. And so I was pretty proud of that, because I did this all on my own with the training that I had here, and that was a positive win. Now, I will recommend this for anybody that's new, that's never been into trading. Do practice on a demo account. Don't go out and fund an account because you have the chance of risking it. You really have to learn your trading style. And then once you feel comfortable with the clicks and the way the market's going and the marking stuff up, then go ahead, start playing with the real money and take your analysis to the next level. All right, let's head back to our presentation. So what is Akashx? It's first-class education. It's a tech provider. It was launched in 2020. It's the best-selling brand of MDC. So MDC stands for My Daily Choice. Think of MDC as the mothership. MDC owns a lot of different brands out there, or they partner with different brands, and you have access to all those services in your business if you wish to be doing the business side, the referral side. And we'll talk about that here in a second. It's operating in over 200 plus countries and is growing month after month. It is a debt-free company. It's privately owned and it's financially stable, forward-thinking. And our CEO Josh is a mastermind when it comes to the tech stuff, which is, I come from tech, and I'm actually a computer engineer. That's my background, but I knew very well that for me to become a Bill Gates or Steve Jobs, it would take forever. As a matter of fact, I lost that dream a long time ago. I did run my own IT company and I felt a sense of freedom, but I didn't really have leverage. I was on the self-employed side, of course, not knowing that I can actually build a business with employees, aka headaches. And I decided to go the affiliate route because I didn't want to deal with employees. If you guys ever had employees in the business, you know what I'm talking about. That's another story for another day. No third-party services, so everything in-house is built. We'll go into some of the sweet software that we have. Our platform is amazing. It's some of the best stuff I've ever seen instead of some of these cookie cutter chicken websites. Yes, I said chicken websites. The company history. It was started in 2014. That's when MDC was started. MDC in 2018 became over $100 million in sales. 2019, MDC goes global and opens up international markets. So now we leave the United States. They're based out of, if I'm not mistaken, Las Vegas. As a matter of fact, a huge part of our team is moving, visiting them this weekend in Vegas to kind of go see the corporate site. 2020, MDC launches Akashx, which is where we're at here with Akashx. I wasn't there in 2020, as I mentioned. I came in a little bit later. In 2022, an in-house tech team was launched. And then this is about the time I came in. About September, October, I was in. And then November 7th is when they actually launched 2.0. So we kind of talked about this earlier, but think of it, this is like the cash flow quadrant, right? There's really only 1% investor mindset. There's a lot of people that are business owners. Not really. There's only 4%, right, that actually make it in business. Did you guys know that most businesses only last 5 years if you're self-employed? That's the harsh reality. And there's a lot of people that spend $1 million to go open up a McDonald's. And guess what? You don't need to spend that much here. And you can build yourself a very profitable business and buy some better food because McDonald's doesn't make the best hamburgers. I honestly can't remember the last time I ever had a hamburger there, but I'm sure some people still enjoy some of that plastic food. All right, so moving along, 4 ways cash flow here. There's 4 ways we can make money with Akashx, and we'll go into some of those ways right now. 95% make it only to 5% the entire market, and then 5% make it make 95% of the entire market. So the way I think it's easier for me to describe it the way I describe it with the cash flow quadrant. We want to move to that right-hand side as quickly as possible. And you can do that through education. You don't have to be the sharpest tool in the shed. Look, I got an engineering degree and I could not figure out trading for the life of me in the very beginning. It takes time. And this is why you need that community. So this is us versus them, comparing ourselves to other companies out there. Hundreds of companies have flooded the market in our industry. The foreign exchange market size is expected to grow to 1.94 trillion US dollars from 2021 to 2026. We've taken something complex and made it simple. Trading is a recession-proof skill set. That's right. So guess what? Whether we're in a down economy or an up economy, it doesn't matter because you're going to go with your market knowledge of how to handle the market, and you can make money on a down economy or an up economy, which is beautiful. And the beautiful thing about trading, guys, you can be on vacation and you can do this from anywhere. So what's our platform look like? In the inside, and by the way, I see my old friend Jose. Jose was a shop worker when I was working at a factory back in 03. Good to see you on the webinar here, buddy. Appreciate you joining. And yeah, I've known that guy pretty much all my marriage life since 2023. So, or 2003. There we go. Did the math wrong. So that's exactly 20 years. Yep, I just hit my 20-year anniversary. So it's been quite a long time. And I just celebrated their 25th anniversary. So pretty awesome. All right, moving along. Sorry, I saw that he was on there. I had to give him a shout out, longtime friend. So we have a beginner section. If you know absolutely nothing about Forex, you know nothing about the index, there's a beginner area. If you're already a trader and you just want to kind of get, maybe, as I like to call it, a second analysis after seeing your analysis, and if it confirms with your analysis, then hey, you know, two heads putting together is a lot better than one. The advanced area is beautiful because you have fundamental and technical analysis, you have support and resistance that you go into, you have chart and time frames, you have what is a trend market, and then you have indicators and patterns. And for our experts out there, you get really deep into Japanese candles and also best trading strategies, the Fibonacci, and the Elliott wave theory. Excuse me. I probably should have brought some water because my voice is getting dry. All right. So this is our essentially our academy. Our Educator Academy, you'll learn from over 15 cash educators who have specialties in proven strategies. They've developed, learn, apply, and start winning in the markets. So I'll tell you, like Brent is really big on indices. So indices would be like your US 30, where I just showed you, your gold, and he also does NAS 100. We have a lot of different educators that kind of go into it, but Lewis does about the same. He's big also on Forex, so I've seen him training on Forex. I would advise you, and this is just me from experience, if you get into this, start with connecting with the educators. Really start connecting and see and just listen to the educators. You'll figure out which ones you want to connect with. I'm a little ADD, so I started jumping into all of them because I like them all. But I think it's important to focus on a pair that you can fall in love with. For me, it has been US 30. I've been really just studying that and drilling that, and I think it's important to just focus on one pair and then find the educator that teaches that pair, if that makes sense. You can make money on any of the pairs, right? But that's the important part. Is just focus, so that eventually you can become the person that starts doing your own trades. So we do have live sessions. I can actually show you a little back office what that looks like. This is our live sessions. So today, this morning, I usually hop on a Stephen Max's session, which is 5 o'clock my time. I know it sucks for us in the West Coast, but hey, we don't make the market. This is the New York hour. In New York, it's at excuse me, it's at 8 o'clock their time. That's the open hour. We have the London session that we also trade at night, and we also have the Asian hour, which I don't know if anybody trades. I don't really follow our traders that trade. I think there might be a few, but I mainly just focus on those two. We have London session, which is about 11 o'clock our time here, PM in the East Coast, or rather in the West Coast. And then we also have the New York hour, and then of course the Asian hour. So those three, you can trade on all those. You can trade all day, but those are usually the open markets is what people kind of shoot for. A lot of traders that feel comfortable because there's a lot more of cash moves. There's more people in the markets buying and selling. And so when you ever see those candles move really fast and really slow, or rather really fast, that isn't like me or you. That's these big industry movers. Right? It's the big companies that own the market. So like Apple, I'll give you an example. Apple in the beginning of the year sold off a lot of stocks. Their price plummeted. Therefore, guess what we saw? We saw a drop in the US 30 because they were number one in the US 30 market. So these are our live sessions, as I mentioned. So there's a lot of trainers. I believe Monica is, I want to say she's somewhere in South America. But yeah, we have different, we have Spanish and English sessions. This gentleman here, I believe he's at 9 a.m. my time. So he teaches crypto, staking, and farming. So that's another market if you're into that kind of stuff. and then Matthew Thayer usually teaches about 11. Matthew, Lewis, and Brent, we all kind of met at the same place, at the previous companies. So it's good to see familiar faces and the confidence in trading that has not left in the last 4 years now. So that's pretty much when I met them 4 years ago. So in the system, we have trade alerts. I'll stay on my presentation, so I'll jump around. But we talked about live sessions. We talked about trade alerts right here. So let's go into that. What's a trade alert? What happens on your phone is you're gonna install the Akashx app, and you're gonna have the ability to jump on and take that trade. So on the right hand side, you can see the app on this iPhone. You just click on this, and I believe it's also available for Android. You copy the trade and you take that trade into your broker. Okay. So there's a lot of brokers out there. A lot of the company doesn't really recommend any particular broker, but there's a list of brokers that you can decide which one you want to use. And I can recommend some, because I'm not officially a trainer, but I can recommend some that I've used and have good experience with, and pulled out some money when I got paid in December. Now, by the way, December is supposed to be a slow month. And so drop a 777 if you guys made some money here in December. I did. As a matter of fact, I was able to raise my $200 investment in my broker account all the way up to close to $600, which is not me, because I'm not great. I'm just copying what these guys are doing. And I pulled out like 125 bucks just to make it feel good that I pulled out some money and show my wife. And my wife actually says, wow, you actually started making money with this company. Why do you think I'm excited about it? I'm actually pulling out money. I'm not just burning money. Does that make sense? So I couldn't have done it without the trade alerts. I'm busy being busy. I look at the trade alert that pops on my phone. I take the trade. Now it's gotten even better. We've talked about this system being a learn and earn on the go. And so I can tell you right now from experience that there is no better way to earn money than copying. I've heard this before from another training, but basically, it's okay to copy a cat as long as the cat's worth copying, or it's okay to copy cat as long as the cat's worth copying. There you go. And so these guys are all experts. They've done this forever. Obviously, don't go. Well, I have to call YOLO trading from what I learned from Brent. You only live once, so let me just go all in. Don't do that. Be respectful to your account. Be respectful to your brokers. Be respectful to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Just take some honest trades. Don't go too big, and of course, don't go too small. Just make it so that, hey, if it takes a lesson, if you lose that one, it's okay. You'll recover on the next one, because our percentages are about 70 to 80% wins. I think in December we're pretty high, so everybody's winning. And so my point is, you can make up that recovery throughout the day. There's no worries there, and it happens to everybody. We obviously can never be 100%, because that'd be called knowing the market, and that's against the rules, right? That'd be cheating. So learn to earn. So you get to learn and you get to earn on the go. We've talked about that. Now this is something new that just got released. It's still in beta. I call it beta because it works for some and it doesn't work for other brokers. So I always recommend, before you enter a broker, find out which one's compatible with the software. There were some changes with the MT program, so they're fixing that right now. But let me tell you how beautiful this is. And by the way, in the United States, I believe, as I understand it, it's against the law to just allow the software to trade for you automatically. Even though it sounds amazing, you can't do it. So you have to give the app permission. It says, hey, do you want to take this trade from this broker or from this trainer? So it'd be either Brent, or it'd be like Matthew Thayer, or it'd be any of our trainers. And then you just hit yes. And then you tell it how much of the lot size you want to take, meaning that how much of a percentage of your risk you want to put into the trade. And then you hit approve, as you see here in the screenshot, and then it takes the trade. So here's one from Matthew Thayer on the screenshot, another one from Brent down there as an example. And then you have roughly 10 minutes. So they analyze the market, they make sure it's not a quick move, and they prepare that trade for you. Really, really helpful. So I'm going to go into what I'm passionate about. It's leverage. And you can use the internet. So with Akashx, you have the opportunity to become a business owner on the right-hand side of the quadrant, right? Where you have leveraged income. Now, when I ran my dropship business, I had to pinch myself. I mean, it got to the point, and I'll just share, not because I'm great, I'll share because I believe when you have a system like Akashx, where you can, any average Joe can learn a little bit here and copy this person there, that's a trainer, and make money. If the average Joe can win, and it has to make sense. That's why I'm doing this presentation. It literally, I mean, I stopped my company in 2015. So it literally took me 8 years to finally find something. That speaks a lot for Akashx. I had to finally find something. I got into insurance industry, and that's not duplicatable. It's freaking hard to pass that test. And you need a license in every single state to sell insurance. If you guys have ever been down that road, you know what I'm talking about. Plus, you got to buy. They always push these companies to buy hundreds of $1,000s worth of leads that are qualified leads that have been sold to 5 other companies. Before you know it, you're in credit card debt because you can't afford that credit card bill because you can't close that insurance product. Does that make sense? If you guys feel me, drop a 222 in the chat. If you've ever been in a company that's like that, and yeah, it's no fun. Now, I'm not going to knock the insurance industry because I did sell a policy to a friend of mine who unfortunately passed away of a blood clot a couple of months ago. Trying to tell the story without choking up, but his son reached out to me, and so please do not ignore life insurance. It is the #1 plan, bar none, to way to recovery, financial freedom for your family, because there's no better way to leave that loved one behind some money. So I'm not knocking the industry. I'm just telling you it's not a duplicatable model, in my opinion, for the average Joe. So with that said, the kids are taken care of. They don't have to play the GoFundMe plan. So make sure you take care of your family through protection of insurance for sure. So let's talk about the business model here. So how is money made? How is it earned? We have a linear income. You can go trading on your own and be happy, make money, and it's just like a job. The moment you stop trading, guess what? Money stops coming in. So you're still technically on the left-hand side, you're self-employed, but you have zero leverage. Does that make sense? So the residual income aspect comes in, is what we want to make sure that you understand, that there's a passive income, and residual is that monthly income that comes again and again. So I'm having to pay a membership to be a part of this organization, to be part of this training. And why not? If I'm making money and it's paying the bill, why wouldn't I pay, right? So that money, my sponsor is getting a commission off of that monthly fee. So that's your residual income. That's where you make money. The leveraged income, this is the fun part. This is where you start building a team. This is where you're going to refer somebody to a good movie anyway. Why don't you refer them to something that can help their financial future? Does that make sense? So we have a team builders bonus. You guys can see some numbers here. You receive $40 for every elite package you personally sponsor. And we only have one package, so I'll just tell you it's only $150. We used to have multiple packages, but they just decided to have you give access to everything, the apps, the software, for a flat rate fee. Now I can show you, or the person that invited you on this webinar can show you how to get it for $99. So you can save $50, and that can be a little bit more digestible, but we'll leave that for another conversation because I don't want to confuse you guys, because I don't have that in the presentation here. So just know it's $150 to get involved, and that's the elite package. And so you will receive $40 if you refer somebody to that, to be a part of your team, if you sell that personally sponsored. If it's somebody on your team that you referred sponsors somebody, then you get $8 from that leverage. And then on your third generation, it's $6.50. So as you can see, this is paid to infinite levels of generations as you rank through the compensation plan. So my sponsor just hit the 10K affiliate program right here. He sponsored 100 customers on the elite pack. Okay. I believe Steve Max just hit 1K. So that's 10 customers. And that's the goal I think that everybody should at least achieve for. If you have 10 customers, you're happy. Bare minimum, you do 3. Because what happens when you do 3? You do 3 and it's free. This is a compensation plan. If you want to see it, I'll let you guys take a picture of that. But I'm just going to talk about that first one because I'm here to talk to my average Joe. The average person in this industry doesn't make anything more than $3,000, more than $1,000 a month, and that's less than like 2 or 3%. And that's the general industry of affiliate marketing, multi-level marketing, pyramid schemes, whatever name you want to throw at it. I call it the leverage model, the money, the making money while you're sleeping model, right? So if we look at this, just look at this number one right here, 10 customers. We talked about $500 a month would save a lot of people's homes in the crash of 08. So you figure out the number that you need to be to replace your income. You know, if you're bringing home $5,000 a month or $6,000 a month at your job, This is the number that you got to beat right here to be free. You can say, honey, we had a good month today, and you just made that money today, you know, whether you did it through trading or you did it through leveraged income. I personally would say lean more on leveraged income if you want freedom, because that gentleman from J. Paul Getty from Get It Oil, he says, I'd rather make 1% of the efforts of 100 people than 100% of my own efforts. So going back to the cash flow quadrant, 100% of my own efforts, I call that scary. 1% efforts of 100 people, let's just say 60 of those people fall off, 60. You still have 40 people working for you, and that money's still coming in. Does that make sense? So if you guys are confused on that model, feel free to hit me up after the webinar. I'll be happy to go into the details for you. There's additional bonuses that the company provides, and this is all broken down by tiers. So the more customers you get, obviously, the more enrollments, the company's making money, they're going to pay you. And then, of course, there's rank achievements. So you get a one-time bonus of $100 if you hit the 1K. You get residual bonuses of $125 on your team bonuses as well. And then they have a check match bonus, first generation of 30%, and then $10,000 a month of $3,000. I'm just talking about first level because that's the goal I'm shooting for. So if you guys aren't there yet, well, hey, we're on the same page. So there's potential for infinite levels of 1% to 5% right here. So we talked about the price. Here's the breakdown of what you get. $149, you get the full access to everything. You got the Beginners Academy, you got the Advanced Academy, you got the Expert Academy, you got the guide to cryptocurrencies, platform tutorials, market research articles, market research news. It's important to know what's happening in the news because the market can twist on you. Market research daily videos, economic calendar, cryptocurrency calendar, trading alerts, trading scanners. Trading scanners are built into the platform that gives you the ability to analyze the market at a deeper level. And so it's like software that helps you kind of cheat the system, if you will, to kind of give you a visual of what's happening that you can't do with the naked eye. Akashx community. I told you a little bit about the community. That's my favorite part, guys, is being a part of this community right here. This is the elite group here. So some of us are in there, not all of us are in here, but you know, they have drops that you be notified in the system. You got resources here. You know, you got resources about, you know, what's happening in the system, and people are sharing articles. A lot of our leaders come in here and just, you know, provide just infinite value to help you in your goals. And then, of course, I think this is the most important part. People are having results. I think I just saw her story update. So one of our leaders, Marianne, was at the airport, took a screenshot of this. She made $646 on one trade on gold. If you guys don't know what that stands for, XAUUSD is gold, right? She made $646 while she was at the airport, just chilling. I mean, that's all on her phone. Here's another gentleman, Chris, who's taking a challenge. So we have a thing called prop firms, which we can talk about later. But prop firms allow you to leverage other people's money so you can play with bigger numbers. So Chris passed on his birthday. He passed level 1, and now he's on stage 2 challenge of that challenge. And so prop firms again allow you to play bigger. Here are some of his numbers. Again, current results don't equal the past results. So we don't know what your ability is to learn. This gentleman here, Jonathan, is on a challenge. He's a $25,000 challenge with our program that we have, actually one of our own brokers that we're working with. You guys can get some more information from that from your sponsor, and you can use that broker. And so, you know, I don't know what I haven't looked at the prices, but I'm just going to speak in numbers. I think for 25,000, you'll probably spend, like, let's just say $150. $150 will give you a $25,000 account. They put you through this challenge system where you have to challenge yourself, and as long as you pass the challenges, now you get to play with a $25,000 trade. So your numbers are bigger, they keep a percentage, and then you keep a percentage of the wins. And so he was able to grow this account. As you can see, today he made $511 on that one. So these are, and it goes on. There's another gentleman here, Chris, who showing his results, nothing but W's, nothing but wins. Another 150 gold scalps. And so this is our community here, guys. This is our community winning. I think that's important to show because it's the system is working. So we talked about this. You refer 3 and it's free. We have free classes, but what would it take for you to call up your best friend that you would call 3 in the morning when your car breaks down and say, hey, I think I found something where the average person can win. Come take a look at this with me. Let's work together. And then refer them. They signed up for their package, and then you refer 3 of those people. Your access to the academy is free. I always say don't do the bare minimum. Maybe get an extra, a 4th person in case they fall off. But that's amazing. Look, guys, I've been in this industry pretty much since I was 16. Off and on, I've tried different companies. I go back to the same thing. If the average Joe can copy and paste the instructor, which is what we have here at Akashx, I've duplicated this now with my I'm speaking from experience. With elite dropshippers, it became viral because the average Joe was winning. The average Joe can copy and paste a system. And I would say this is simpler than what I used to do because my training system, I had to break down in modules on how to copy and paste text and description and prices and figure out the price that you want to sell a product for. And then I had software to help you scale that, but it was very difficult. Here, I think the simplicity is, like I mentioned, number 1 step is get started with your training, get your basics down. And while you're learning, start to learn from the instructors, and then take action with them and start copying their trades on the demo account. And once you start winning, hey, that's the point, is that you're moving to that direction, that you're becoming an investor, and then start funding that account. Simplicity. My goal is to get back to where I was, guys. I was doing 30 grand a month on residual income, meaning that if I worked or I didn't work, I was making that 30. And I wasn't greedy. Guess what? I was giving that money out to my team, my marketers. So I was paying 50% of that out to the marketing force. And so if I've done it once, I'll do it again. And it was the same type of model. You have the 3 levels down. I actually called PayPal up and say, hey, I don't want to get in trouble by any type of multi-level rule. What's the max I can pay out? And exactly how they broke it down here is exactly how I did it. 3 levels down is how I don't know actually how many levels to go down here. I'm just speaking from the presentation that I saw, that you refer 3, and then you get it for free, but also you have 3 levels of pay that goes into your organization, which makes it really beautiful for marketing, because the less that you have to create a product, you don't have to worry about the tech stuff. I've been there before. That's tough. You don't have to worry about training anybody. We have trainings like this going on all day, throughout the day, and everybody shares their story, where they came from. I believe the average Joe can win. That's my belief. I believe if you plug yourself into the community, you just stay plugged in, anybody can win and anybody can make it happy here. So that is all for me, guys. I would say next step is get back to the person that invited you. Join the academy. That's the big deal. I'm going to probably do more of these webinars in the future once I figure out what's going on with my list. Like I said, if you guys missed the beginning of this webinar, I have a pretty large list, but the rules have changed with Gmail, so I couldn't blast my list out as I used to. And it was only like 15 people that I blasted to. So I was like, oh, no, this is not going to work. So I appreciate all you guys that made it onto this webinar, and thanks for your time. Please do share the feedback and get back to the person that invited you, and we'll be in touch. If you guys have any questions, please do get back to the person that guided you. Looks like there's, I appreciate Natasha Martibelli sharing your wins, 83% last month. That was from Natasha. Jennifer, Jennifer was in insurance too. So I'm just reading some comments here. Well, before we wrap it, we got about 4 minutes left on this webinar, and I'm just going to shut it down. But she says it's hard to convince people they need insurance. You know what, Jennifer, that was my biggest deal. I was so nervous in my first sit down that I actually burned that contract. I was high risk because I was super nervous. The lady had just gotten her eyes dilated, and I was so scared. I didn't know what to do. I thought she was married to the guy. Turned out the last, anyway, it was a full on mess. I kept going. I made some good money. I made some sales, but never, knock on wood, never had some crazy chargebacks. But I do know people that have had some crazy chargebacks in the insurance industry, and that's another thing that scares me. So I'm happy to find a leverage system that we have here. So James, you missed the start. Please send the money to the court. Yeah, will do, James. If you don't mind, please send me. I think if you register for the the presentation, I'll send you the replay. I think you might get the replay in your email by default. I hope you do. Where can I contact you other than the platform? Hey, Lewis. You can reach me on my Facebook. That's probably the easiest way to get to me. I have a fan page. That was actually my old company name. I shut it down. Attraction Marketing Engineering. Didn't even realize I have 2,000 followers. Pretty cool. I should probably reach out to them and talk to them more. I'm terrible at social media. As you guys can see, I'm busy with my family. So you'll see my family in the picture. And that should be my wife as the main picture. So I was obviously more cleaned up. I live in the ranch now, as you guys can see. So I don't go out. I work from home. This is what I do full time. I don't ever leave. I actually sold my Tesla. I don't need a Tesla because I don't commute anywhere. So I decided to actually invest into a well. If you guys ever lived on a ranch and you don't have access to water, you got to drill. And knock on wood, we found water. 375 feet down, $40,000 later. Yep, found water. Not the cheapest investment, but the way I see it, don't have to pay for a water bill in the future. And as long as we can maintain our bills, we're okay. I don't have a car bill, and my whole family is my life. And anyway, this is my Facebook. You can reach out to me here, and I'll be happy to get back to you. You can also reach me on my Telegram. As a matter of fact, I think I share this with some people, but you're welcome to join my Telegram group. I have signed up a couple people that are in that group. Others are just kind of lurkers, but I don't mind if you're a lurker. It's called the Goats Traders, and I will share this link if you guys want to join that. I usually kind of just share my analysis with people, as you can see up there. Let's see, view group info. Where is the link to share? Huh. I have not done this in a while. I can do it on my phone. I don't know if I can do it here, but if you want to add me to Telegram, it's just DJ Caesar in my Telegram. All right. So let me see if I answered all the questions. Lewis. There you go, Lewis. I just sent you that on a private message. And I think Lewis, I think you and I have connected in the past, if I'm not mistaken. I know you sent me you sent the message. It was James that sent a direct message. But I don't know if we met before, Lewis, but I'm pretty sure we connected in the past in some other marketing ventures. Jose says the rookies. Jose, you got 5 kids too, man. So I get it. Life is busy, man. All right. Well, that's it for me, guys. It is 7 o'clock. I think I've done my time, and I really appreciate everybody being on this webinar. If you have any questions, do get back to the person that invited you. I will be doing more of these once I figure out my email system. I might end up just exporting all my emails out and then getting out of Aweber because it's so confusing now to send emails out. So appreciate you guys. Have a great night, and God bless. Take care.